We journey down the pathway of self-diminishment, where at a greater rate of deterioration we decline in psychological, physiological and biological function and power. And so if we want to remove a negative state, remove a negative event, remove a negative experience, and remove a negative situation from our life so that we can experience relief, freedom, personal growth and lifestyle development, then we need to break the karmic cycles of our negative feedback loops. You would need to experience a breakthrough change. A breakthrough change is where you break through and break free from the limitations, the self-harms, and the negatives to prevent you from experiencing a more positive and rewarding life, where you break through into long-lasting change. And there are 4 key components to a breakthrough change, where you must reconcile the past, rupture the patterns, reimagine the future, and recondition the mind-body. Let's first discuss the subject of reconcile the past. What does it actually mean to reconcile the past? Well, the reason that you are stuck within the karmic cycle of a negative feedback loop, and the reason that you always get triggered into a negative state, is because you have an unresolved issue from the past that is conditioned within your mind body, that has become a reoccurring fear, insecurity, trauma or shame that keeps showing up in your life today, that results in a problematic behavioural pattern and consequence that keeps playing out. And until you have identified and resolved that issue of that past event and have learned its lesson and wisdom, then the negative states, it will remain as this unconscious trait that repeats. So to make a breakthrough change, you would need to reconcile the past, and this is something that I teach in the Mind Games online course and program. It is a 5-step process of where you identify with, accept, learn from, forgive, and then let go of that past issue. The next element of a breakthrough change is to rupture the pattern. This means that you need to break the negative behavioural patterns of your conditioned mind body. This means that for change to happen, you have to become disagreeable and unreasonable with yourself. You must refuse to go along with the suggestions of your mind. You have to break the patterns of your usual thinking, feeling and doing. You have to go to war with yourself and go to work on yourself. You have to refuse to be the old you so that a new you can arise. And so to rupture your patterns, you need to first identify what your patterns are and then implement a pattern interrupt. And how will you interrupt the patterns of your behavior? It's very simple. At the critical point of the pattern, just before a pattern begins, when you know you are about to engage with a specific negative state, you do what I refer to as a seismic shift. A seismic shift is where you do something completely opposite. You redirect your mind body to an alternative activity. You refocus your attention on something else. You introduce a new behavior. This new behavior will either be a new thought, a new communication, a new action, or all 3 together. The new behavior will be an alternative response, a new approach that you have decided to deal with this problem in a positive manner, where you lean into something that you would usually escape from, where you don't participate in that something that you usually would, where you change the rules of the game, upset the status quo, rearrange the environment and do something completely different to interrupt the usual pattern. The aim of the pattern interrupt is to disrupt, diffuse, unwire and reverse the unconscious programming of your conditioned mind-body, to short-circuit the psychoneurological wiring of your negative state. And you will find that the more successful you are at disrupting a pattern, the more confident and skillful and efficient you will get at it. However, the first stumbling block is for you to accept that it is the conveniences, the securities, the comforts, the familiarities and the pleasures of who you are, what you do and what you get, that you have to accept that you're going to have to be without. Where implementing a pattern interrupt means that you have to do something that is uncomfortable. It means that you have to sacrifice something. It means that you have to go without. And realize now that a pattern interrupt will always encompass initial disruptive pains. And realize now that either the environmental, situational, or relational factors of your life must change, or that you must change your relationship to them. And to break negative habits and make positive progress, the type of pattern interrupt that you will need to implement in your life will be in direct proportion to the longevity, type, size, and potency of the old traits that you wish to break. The more entrenched your traits are, the greater the shift that you will need to make. And so let me give you a personal example of this. Many years back, I was addicted to watching televisions up to 5 hours per day. And for over 3 decades of my life, I had wasted my precious time on consuming unproductive garbage on the TV. Until I came to this realization, in that to find the spare time to do the personal development work that was required to make progress in my life, I had to overcome this one addiction. However, there were many failed attempts to unplug from my daily dose of digital stimuli. I tried to reduce my TV time. I even stuck a large sign across the TV screen that read, "Every time you watch me, you are not working on your dreams." It didn't work. I would just rip that sign off the TV and then lounge back into my conditioned programming. Pun intended. In fact, nothing worked to curtail my addiction. I was that much of a TV addict. So in the end, I was left with no other choice but to go cold turkey. And I actually threw the TV out with the garbage. I removed the external stimulus and trigger from my environment. Now, throwing the TV out of the house with the garbage, I appreciate, might sound too drastic for you. And yet that was the only way that I could break the habit of my 3-decade addiction. Needless to say, I was rewarded with 5 hours of free time to work on my self-development goals and enjoy new hobbies. Here is another personal example of what it takes to make a breakthrough change. It took multiple relapses and the severe trauma of several lifestyle collapses for me to finally realize and accept that in order for me to overcome a 2-decade-long addiction to alcohol and drugs, I had to disconnect from everything that I knew. Everything that I knew was in some way supportive of and triggering my alcohol and drug addiction. And I'm talking about the usual people, the usual places, the usual possessions, and the usual predicaments that we find ourselves. And they were all structured around my substance abuse. And so to make a seismic shift and break those patterns, I had to walk away from my entire life. Walk away from everything that I knew and relocate to a safe place that was stimulus-free. This seismic shift included me letting go of childhood friendships, not spending time with family members, removing myself from a stressful job, foregoing a social life where for over 5 years I practically lived like a monk on the outskirts of society and in complete isolation. I had to live in a way that was completely opposite to the life that had supported my addictions. And personal transformations do require us to be in a stimulus-free space, even if that means extricating from certain relationships and environments, even if that means ripping everything up and starting again fresh. And so whatever problems and hardships that you are going through in your life right now, whatever dire situations are causing you immense suffering, you need to realize that only by rupturing those patterns with a seismic shift in your behavior, location, and environment will you actually make a breakthrough change. Which brings me to the fact that you also need to reimagine the future. Now, why is this important? Because life is about transitioning from one moment to the next, about transitioning from the present day and into the future. And it makes absolute sense that you would prefer to transition from the unideal to the most ideal life that you could possibly imagine. And a big part of breakthrough change is to imagine and manifest an entirely new, better, improved, beneficial, fulfilling, and joyful version of you and version of your life. And for that, you need to imagine a different you and a different life, because you can't manifest a different you and a different life with the same perception that keeps this current life going. You can't change yourself and change your lifestyle with the same memories, thoughts, and emotions that got you here and keeps you here. And the key to manifestation is your creative imagination, because creative imagination is how you reimagine a different life, where you imagine a different you. And when you do what is known as image cycling, which means you continuously imagine the same thing over and over again inside your mind, you then create a memory. You internalize and embody that image. And that image changes your perception, and you start to focus on things that correlates with that image, where you start to project a different energy, where a different reality is reflected back to you, where what the mind perceives, the body then achieves. And if that image cycling is you cycling positive and worthy imaginations of a future you and a future life that you truly desire, then you will become the creator of a positive feedback loop, where your imagined positive experience within is a positive state of being that starts to create a positive event and experience without. Is that making sense? With everything that you have learned in this webinar so far, it should do. The next part of a breakthrough change is that you recondition the mind-body, which simply means that you must take massive action to rehearse, reinvent, redirect, recreate, and repeat positive behaviors that get you positive results until you have transformed yourself and your lifestyle with long-lasting positive results. And so, if those are the simple 4 stages of how you get a breakthrough change, then why don't you? Why can't you change? Well, here are 4 reasons why you can't change. You are self-sabotaging. You lack the self-awareness. You lack the self-control, and you lack the right strategy. Let's speak to all 4 of those right now. We begin with self-sabotaging. What does it mean to self-sabotage? Self-sabotage means that unconsciously or unconsciously, we limit, restrict, obstruct, avoid, damage or destroy even an aspect of who we are and what we do. Where you are doing certain things or not doing certain things that results in some type of harm, loss or injury. And self-sabotaging behaviours are what prevents personal growth and lifestyle development. And when you look at some of the areas in your life, this would be immediately obvious to you. And there are also some areas in your life that you engage with self-sabotaging behaviours that are not so obvious. But why do you self-sabotage? Because think about it. Self-sabotage results in negative consequences that causes you suffering. So why would you cause harm to yourself? Why would you put yourself in harm's way? Well, remember that most of your deepest and strongest traits are unconscious conditions of your mind-body. So you are acting autonomously, involuntarily, and reactively. And where roughly 90% of your unconscious psychology dominates your behavior. Where that 95% dominance will always try to subvert and override the weaker 5% power of your conscious awareness and willpower to change. And if the majority of your unconscious traits are negative, then you will have little control over those negative conditions within. Even if you wanted to stop and change because you've had enough pain, that 95% conscious power will override those new desires to stop. Next, when trying something new, it will always feel uncomfortable, and you will find it a stress and a struggle to break old patterns and introduce new habits. And for that reason, you are likely to regress back to your old ways when the going gets tough and when you feel tired. Furthermore, the guiding values and beliefs of your fixed identity are so deeply embedded within the psychoneurological fabric of the unconscious aspects, it's difficult to deviate from its default mode, in that you feel uncomfortable, uncertain and weird even to think, feel and act as someone that is different to the fixed identity that you identify with. And the default mode of your fixed identity is continually reminding, nudging and directing you back to your old ways by the internalized memories, thoughts and emotions of your fixed identity. The fixed identity will always pull you back into a negative state. Whenever you try to make a change, the fixed identity will always be trying to readjust back to its default mode. The fixed identity is a major psychological barrier to prevent you from doing the self-development work that's required to upgrade your life conditions. Everything that you truly desire to be and have exists outside of the fixed identity. The other reason that you can't change, that you can't break through your negative states, is because you lack the self-awareness. This means that you are not fully aware of what you're doing and not fully aware of why you're doing it. In that you lack awareness about the self. You lack the awareness of why yourself thinks and behaves the way you do. You don't know where and when you are being triggered. You don't know how and why that process plays out. And so you lack the recognition and self-knowledge to change that pattern. And so to be unaware of the negative patterns that you are stuck in is very much like you're walking around a forest in circles. You don't realize that you are walking through the same pathways in the forest, which means that you always end up circling back to the same place and you never find your way out. And because you don't have the self-awareness, you lack the self-control, because you can't control that about the self to which you are unaware of about the self. And whilst your negative states remain as these unconscious traits that are conditioned within your mind body, they will be autonomous, impulsive, reactive, and involuntary traits, which means that you will act on autopilot mode, like a robot that follows the commands of a pre-programmed operating system, where you just think, say, and behave a certain way and do so with no pause, consideration, or constraints. Instead of being a conscious driver of your mind, you have become the unconscious passenger of your mind. Which brings us both to this: you lack the right strategy. You see, one fundamental fact needs appreciation. You can't change by doing what you already know. Effective change is only possible when doing something completely different that gives you a new result. Results are obtained by working with a strategy. Even so, there are bad results and good results. So if, for example, you were to embark on a breakthrough change with the wrong strategy or an unproven strategy, the likelihood is that you will encounter problems and painstaking mistakes along the way, and potentially fail by not getting the result that you set out for. To guarantee breakthrough success, you will need a results-based strategy. This will be a proven strategy that gives you a set procedure of actionable tasks designed to produce a specific outcome in your life. The right strategy will clearly define a way to get the result with an easy to follow blueprint map that gets you from A to point B, where you have a set structure with protocols and a course of actions. Life coaching, health and fitness training regimes, dietary plans are all classic examples of workable strategies that are structured with action plans, whereby you model the proven practices of an organization or person that has already mastered and produced the result that you desire. Always remember that someone somewhere in this world has already been where you've been and has discovered a winning formula. What took them decades of sweat equity and umpteen failures as they figured out the winning formula, well, with their tried and tested strategy, you can succeed in a fraction of a time. With a proven results-based strategy, you will avoid the costly mistakes and unnecessary setbacks and save yourself many years of painful trial and error. Following the wisdom and advanced knowledge of an expert, you will get to your chosen destination with more elegance, efficiency, and effectiveness. How, therefore, will you know to choose the right strategy? It is simple. Investigate before you invest. Do your due diligence on the organization or the individual. Study their track record and results and get a preview or trial run of their strategy before you decide to purchase it. And so I now want to summarize what you have learned so far in this webinar. So far, you have learned that chronic negative states are unconscious traits that are conditioned within the mind body, and therefore, until you have resolved and removed these conditions from the mind body, you will always be subject to the terms of those conditions. These negative unconscious traits will always remain as the unmastered parts of who you are, that are without temperance, constraint, free will, and virtue. And you may fantasize that you can make massive personal transformations anytime that you choose, and yet you are instead an unconscious slave to your mind body's conditioning, and therefore you operate in a state of free won't. Free won't is the lack of free will. Free won't change the way it behaves. Free won't give up those pleasurable habits. Free won't concede that its way of thinking and doing is wrong and harmful. Free won't thinks that it's in control, and 3 won't be told otherwise. And until you realize how and why your conditioned mind-body will always be working against you, working against any positive changes that you want to make, you will always be caught within its current cycle of negative states. And so please do realize that your old mental formulas do not formulate better outcomes. You can't change by doing the same thing over and over. If you are continuously experiencing bad thoughts, bad emotions, and bad lifestyle consequences where you are continually stressed, miserable, or unfulfilled, then obviously you have a bad mental formula that keeps manifesting that bad result. Therefore, change the mental formula and you change the result. You need to start playing better mind games. So if you want to overcome negative states such as anxiety, stress, neurosis, addiction, bipolar or depression, etc., then the breakthrough change starts when you learn more about who you are and why you do the things you do. You must become knowledgeable and aware of the psychological patterns and processes that are unconsciously sabotaging you. To become someone better, you must transcend the worst aspects of self, and to do that, it is essential that you truly understand how your mind works. You need a foundational understanding of the mechanics and processes of how your mind-body directs your behavior. Knowing exactly what mind games that you play will endow you with the awareness to take self-control and start redirecting yourself to the most ideal life that you can possibly think of. Because what has been conditioned can be unconditioned and then reconditioned. What has been learned can be unlearned and then relearned. What has been wrong and faulty can be made right and fixed. And new actions get new results. And the right action is to embark on a journey of cultivating mental wealth where you can enrich your experience of life with a solution-orientated mind that is focused on optimism, abundance, love, happiness, and inner peace. All of the good stuff that feels great. And so I want to now explore with you these 2 quotes. The first one is, "What's left in the unconscious becomes fate." First quote means that what we say is fate is actually a development of situational events that beyond our awareness, those events have resulted from the actions of our unconscious traits. In other words, nothing happens by fate. Most of what takes place in our life is because of unconscious intentions, desires, and mind programming. And we just happen to be unaware of it. That most of the situations that we find ourselves have arrived and manifested because the mind and body is conditioned to unconsciously will itself into those situations. And by will itself, I mean to seek out, to arrive at, to participate in, to give consent to acquiesce and to accept. Where there is an unconscious part of who we are that by unconscious will has influenced, manipulated, allowed, welcomed, or submitted to a situation that's taking place in our life. Second quote is, "What's left unresolved in the unconscious becomes bad luck." The second quote means that when we experience some type of misfortune or hardship that we call bad luck, well, actually, it has nothing to do with bad luck. Bad luck is to infer and concede that some type of upset and failure has occurred because of chance or because of circumstances that are beyond one's control, than rather being a result of one's own actions. And yes, situations do arise into our life unexpectedly and often without request or permission, that are beyond our control. And yet, it is how we choose to respond to those situations that determines how the situation will unfold and end. The choice is always with us. If, however, we have unresolved issues from past experiences where the mind is emblazoned with the emotional states of fear, insecurity, traumas and shames, then we will project those unresolved issues and states into our present day experiences, and those unresolved issues and states, they influence every choice that we make. And so what we call bad luck, not fair, never goes right, always happens to me and why can't I catch a break, and whatever other reasons that you apportion to the negative situations in life, well, those negative situations aren't random or happenstance. Those negative situations keep showing up in your life because you keep unconsciously reacting to those situations through the conditioned filters of your unresolved negative issues and states. In other words, you keep reliving the same bad karma of your unresolved past life experiences. You keep projecting bad, attracting bad, and this reinforces the bad within. And the cycle repeats. And the only way to break a bad lifestyle cycle is to become aware of the psychology and behavioural patterns of that cycle and then implement a breakthrough strategy to get a positive change and result. And so, what to do now? Well, you can do nothing. You can go back to your life and continue forth as you are with some insightful information that you have learned and that you may soon forget as the duties and demands of your life steal away your attention, and where perhaps you will continue to experience the same problems, challenges, mistakes and failures as the result of negative states and self-sabotage. Or you can do something. You can realize how important it would be for you to understand your mind, your behaviors and your life, where you can decide to go on a journey of personal transformation and growth and cultivate a life that expresses your truest, highest and fullest potential, where you cultivate mental and lifestyle wealth. But the question I need to ask you is this: have you reached a place where enough is enough? Have you grown tired of any mental anguish that troubles you? Do you feel sick and tired of making the same mistakes in life that result in the same negative consequences of harm, loss and injury? Are you fed up with not getting the things that you truly desire from life? Do you want to start making positive breakthrough changes so that you can start rising upwards and onwards towards the most ideal life that you can possibly think of and achieve? If you've answered yes to any of those questions, then I would like to give you an open invitation to join the Mind Games exclusive membership program and community, where we focus on mental and lifestyle wealth creation. So what is the Mind Games membership program and community? Well, it is an online self-development course that enlightens, educates and empowers you with knowledge, wisdom and philosophy, where I teach you about human behavioural psychology, where I provide you with proven psychotherapeutical tools, techniques and strategies in which to cultivate mental and lifestyle wealth, where you also become part of an online wealth creation group where you can join like-minded people, join forces to share personal experiences and results, where people that are on the same journey of creating mental and lifestyle wealth come together to support and guide each other, where you will get the opportunity to form both personal and business collaborations that will help you get the results that you need and desire more effectively. So, When you become a member of the Mind Games program, you will learn to play the right mind games. You will go through the online course and master 5 mind game strategies that will radically transform, uplift, and gift you a new lease of life. And on this course, the first mind game strategy you play is called the resolution game. Within this mind game strategy, you will explore and resolve the negative aspects of these 12 human archetypes and resolve any problematic characteristic traits that you have. You will undertake a process of self-exploration using these powerful psychotherapeutic questions that will guide you to identify with and understand the cause and patterns of your self-sabotaging behaviors and negative states. You will do what's known as the shadow work to unveil those unconscious traits so that you emerge as a fully absolved and integrated being that is more self-knowledgeable, more self-aware, more self-knowing, and more self-determining. The next game you'll play is called the reverse thinking game. This is a powerful mind control technique that improves the way you communicate with others, where you will identify with undesirable outcomes in your relationships and then become someone that can respond to people in a way that produces a desirable outcome. It is simple. Wherever there is a negative consequence as a result of your thinking and communications, you will reverse what you think and say in which to elicit a positive consequence. And you can literally turn your entire life around by reversing your thoughts. With the third game, you play what's called reframe the game. This is a proven psychological reframing technique that upgrades the quality of your perception. You will learn how to revise a negative history by rewriting your experience of it. You will learn how to upgrade your present day problems with the power of positive storytelling. You will come to see that there is an upturn within every downturn. You will be able to transmute life's tragedies into life's triumphs. You will turn obstacles into opportunities that will excel your progress. You will flip pessimism into optimism. You will transmute your limitations into leverages to get more of what you desire. You will learn how to reframe the game of life so that you win more often. The fourth mind game strategy is called the equalizer game. With this mind game strategy, you will master a powerful equalizing technique, a unique questioning skill that will make you this reckoning force of balance and harmony. You will identify with unfair and misfortunate situations and events in your life and then use this equalizer technique to see the hidden benefits in the drawbacks, to see the good within the bad, to see the positive intention behind the negative expression, to take life's liabilities and transmute them into your assets, whereby you trade expectations for appreciations and start to cultivate value and self-worth, where you come to see that every life experience, even those which are misfortunate and unfair, that they have a positive value, virtue, and wisdom that will enhance the quality of your life with deeper meaning and higher purpose. You will come to see that every life experience, even those which are misfortunate and unfair, that they have a positive value, virtue, and wisdom that will enhance the quality of your life with deeper meaning and higher purpose. And then the final mind game strategy of this course is called the wealth exaltation game. Here I will teach you a key mind game strategy that shows you how to rethink, redesign, reinvent, re-internalize, reposition, and repurpose who you are as an individual so that you orient yourself towards experiences that get you more of the positive results that you truly desire. In this final mind game strategy, you will exalt your lifestyle by designing new archetypal disciplines, these divine disciplines that are tailor-made by you to unfold your truest, highest and fullest potential, where you will evolve into a supreme being with imaginative, optimistic, creative and critical thinking powers that allows you to safely navigate this world and whilst you cultivate your dream ambitions. And so, if this is something that you are interested in, if you think that by doing this online program and becoming part of the community will provide you with everything that you need to turn your life around and to dial your life up, and that will breathe new life into you, if you want to start living a success story, then I have a generous offer for you. You can get immediate access to the exclusive membership and online course and community, where I will deliver to you an online course of over 30 tutorial videos, a download of the Mind Games guidebook that teaches you about the 12 human archetypes, about negative states, and that gives you all of the right mind game strategies, which is a package of immense value that will guide you to make profound breakthrough changes in your life, which is a package that comes with over 30 years of my experience, knowledge, wisdom, expertise, and skills, which is a package that has taken me over 2 years to design and formulate to ensure that it gives you effective and efficient results, which is a package that gives you full support via email, live and interactive video calls with me, which is a package that is updated with new content and skills so that you get a continuous upgrade of psychological tools that help you to develop and enhance your mindset and lifestyle, which is also a package that comes with unlimited lifetime access to this online course and membership from any device. And so, how much does it cost you to become a Mind Games exclusive member and get access to this online course? Well, listen, I'm not going to insult your intelligence today, nor am I going to deploy any underhand sales tactics in which to exploit your emotions, which means I won't be giving you this hyper overinflated upfront price that is designed to give you an impression of immense value and then shock drop that price to some heavily discounted price so that it triggers a buying impulse in you. No, I don't want you to buy this product and become an exclusive member of the Mind Games program and community just because you've been given a financial incentive. I want you to become a member because you have a genuine need and desire to do so, because this is just what you need at this stage in your life. So don't let price be a determining factor, but instead be guided by your intuitions. So let's get to the cost of this exclusive membership. What I do want you to know is that the market value of this product is £396 or thereabouts. However, I'm not selling this product at the market value, and there is a very important reason for this. That reason is that one of my guiding values is to serve humanity, and in doing so, make my teachings as available, as accessible as possible. And I realize that £396 is a cost barrier for a lot of people, that the market value of this membership and product would prevent a lot of people from getting the help and support that they really need. And so, keeping in line with my values, I decided to do a price reduction and sell this membership, an online course, for £96.30. So essentially, you're getting something for a quarter of its value, which is an amazing opportunity, right? And then I thought to myself, how can I completely remove all price barriers so that price would not be an issue for anyone that wanted to get access to this membership and product? And that's when I came up with the generous offer of £39.60. So that's £39.60 to get unlimited access to the entire Mind Games exclusive membership program, course and community. And Furthermore, that comes with a 100% money back guarantee within 30 days of the purchase. And so if for whatever reason you are not getting the content and results that I have promised, I will return your money back. So now you would have every reason to purchase this product, and with no financial risk whatsoever, if you truly feel and think that this is right for you. And so if you are 100% certain this is for you, you can click the link below this webinar presentation and it will direct you to a simple purchase page, or you can copy and paste the link into your browser and it will direct you to the same page. And so, my friend, I end this webinar presentation by saying that I have showed up today and played my part, that I have made you aware of crucial aspects of human psychology and behavioural patterns, that I have discussed the problems and directed you to the solutions, that I have guided you with the warnings, the wisdoms and the ways, where I am incredibly grateful for your time and patience to be with me today. And so if you have taken me up on the generous offer to join the Mind Games exclusive membership, then I look forward to seeing you on the other side. We've got some great things to be doing together. If you've decided, however, to pass up my generous offer, then I do wish you the very best on your life journey. And so that really is it. With great love from me to you. Take care for now.